G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ben. Got another book review for you today, talking about Troy by Stephen Fry. It's a retelling of the Iliad by Homer, livened up a little bit with Stephen Fry's wit and humour. Alright, so what did I think of it? Overall, I thought it was pretty good. I haven't read the Iliad, but I have read the Odyssey. And obviously, given that it's such an ancient text, it can obviously be hard to follow at points, depending on the translation you get. Obviously, that matters as well. Stephen Fry hasn't done a revision of the Odyssey, but if he did in the same vein as this, I would happily read it because this one was really easy to get through. So it obviously talks about, the stealing of Helen from Sparta, taking her back. Prince Paris takes her back to Troy with him, and that sparks, a giant war that lasts for a decade. All the heroes involved in that, all the parts the gods play, they interfere, left, right, and center. This one's really interesting because it's probably about twice as long as what the Iliad would be, according to Fry anyway, because you read through about a third of the book or so, and then he'll get to a point and be like, this is where Homer's Iliad begins. And then likewise, continue reading, this is where Homer's Iliad ended, and then he has text on either side of that. Most of the text prior to where Homer's Iliad begins is really just giving a lot of backstory, the origins of the heroes, rather than just saying this is Achilles. Talks about his family, how he came to be, why he's going to be the greatest warrior, etc., etc. And that goes on with almost all of them. Also goes on to little anecdotes about Odysseus trying to get out of being in the war, and Achilles being hidden amongst a bunch of women, things like that. There's a lot of footnotes in the book as well, which are good. They're a little bit funny because obviously Stephen Fry has written a book, Heroes, which is all about the Greek heroes. And what he'll do is mention a hero or mention a trial that they went through or something like that, or a journey they went on, and it's not super relevant to the story he's trying to tell. So he'll just put a little asterisk, and down at the bottom in the footnotes, he'll be like, read my other book, Heroes, if you want to know the full story. Which, I'm not trying to rip on the guy too much. Obviously, it's a smart business savvy move that you then go buy his other book. But at the same time, it would be a detriment to this book if he told that story when it has no bearing on the tale at all, right? He also goes into certain things like, there'll be disagreements between historians. So he'll be like, character, took the left-hand path, and it would be like, most historians agree that the character walked down the left-hand path, but there are a couple who believe he walked down the right-hand path. Obviously, I'm making that up. But it's kind of good to know. It's good to know that there's that disagreement and why he chose to, push it one way or the other. In terms of how well it stands by itself, look, if you don't like things like the Iliad and the Odyssey, you don't like the story at all, you're probably not going to like this book. He can only stray so far from the source material before it's a complete work of fiction. So obviously he's basing it on the original text and revising it for a more modern audience, like I said, with his wit and humour thrown in to liven things up a little bit. I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it 4 stars on Goodreads because I thought it was really good. I'll probably pick up Heroes at some point because he convinced me with enough footnotes that it was worth the read. And that's about it. That's kind of all I've got for you guys. If you've read this book, throw a comment in the comment section, or if you've read the original or a translation of the Iliad or the Odyssey, I'd love to hear about it. If there's a different translation that's better than another that I could check out. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs up anyway because it makes me feel good about myself. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. As always, stay cool.